Have you been thinking lately about buying a vintage bike and you'd like the experience of riding old school? Well, I did that a few years back and didn't go much on that idea at all. So what I'm showing you now is a way you can sort of counteract that. Buy yourself something new, which looks old, great looking bike, really appeals and sets a good presence, very reliable. So let's head up along this track and check her out. Okay, there we got it. We got the new Royal Enfield Classic 350 Reborn. And my opinion on this bike, it's a really great, reliable ride, which I've put up 4,500 kilometres to date on it, trouble-free. She's a beauty, runs well. So if you're on the market for a bike like one of these, I'll give you a few specs on it. First off, the going price of one of these is roughly $8,000. This is virtually what they class as a base model. This was a halcyon grey. And they go up to around about 880 in Australia for the chrome. So whatever country you're in, just convert it and it'll be up around that similar price in your currency. So as far as things go, you've got a 350cc motor, really 349, single, and it's putting out roughly 20 horsepower and 27 newton meters of torque at 4,000 revs. Or your 20 horsepower fed through a 5-speed gearbox. In my case, I've got the heel and toe shifter on this, so it really just comes with a toe shifter. Swings to the back wheel, which is an 18-inch, and up front we got a 19-inch. So that distributes your 20 horsepower. They're no powerhouse, but enough for you to have a bit of fun on. Fuel tank wise, you've got 13 litres, so that'll get you quite a bit of range when you're out there riding around. I'm not sure exactly how many kilometres you'll get, but you get a good run out of it. You can do 300 kilometres, put it that way. Apart from that, you've got a seat height of 805 millimetres. And I've got two of these bikes, and this particular one hasn't got the springing seat back in at the moment. And when you purchase these bikes, they also come with a pillion seat. But I don't go much on the pillion. I think it takes away the look of the bike, so I take that off and I actually fit this chrome rack to it, which I think looks more old school for this particular bike. So apart from that, you've got all the goodies on this compared to if you went out and bought yourself an old vintage job. You've got fuel injection, which means that you'll be able to get out there and kick it over and it'll start all the time, compared to playing or tickling carburettors and hoping it goes. And you've also got, for the safety feature, dual channel ABS braking, which is a must in these days, I think, and it's just not something you'd expect when you have a look at this bike. Once people come up and have a talk to you about it and look at the bike, it looks 60-year-old. Now I find the stock tyres these come with, they're pretty good. They're called See-It. They're probably just some cheaper brand, but I was sort of slightly against them in the beginning, but found out they, over a period of time, that they ride pretty well, they handle well, you know, and stuff like that. So you got no worries about tyre-wise. But overall, these are a great little ride to own. So if you're wondering what are they like once you run them in, you can get out there and run along. Under normal flat type conditions, unless you get into some big hills, you can sit on your 100 kilometres an hour. I think top speed would be something like around about, with a bit of luck, 75 mile an hour. But at 100, 55 to 60 mile an hour, 100 to 90 kilometres an hour, these run along really well, and I think you could put up quite a few kilometres if you just wanted it for that purpose. They weigh in 195 kilos. The weight on these bikes is really no drama whatsoever. Like, it's a pretty well balanced bike really. So it handles that. And when you're swinging out along the road, your fifth gear, once you get out there, is virtually not much different to your fourth gear. You could probably go faster in fourth gear than what you could fifth. It's hard to say, but there wouldn't be much difference. You're not going to click into fifth gear and expect to get another 10 or more miles per hour. Just won't happen. If you ask me what I sort of don't really like about the bike, there's really nothing I really don't like, except I would like to, I would like to have seen it have the screw-in cap similar to what's on the 500 Euro 4 version. And I suppose the only thing it gives away instrumentation-wise is that little LCD or whatever it is readout there. But over to the right of that, that'd be a good place to put a amp meter. Tell you what, we've been raining in this area, and you can see by the ground and that. Here, really bad area too. There's a lot of mosquitoes around there following me around everywhere. So apart from that, these are pretty simple bikes to work on. So if you buy one of these, put her in for the first service, you won't have to do much after that. I can't get here and tell you anything it's really bad had happened to the bike, because so far this has been a very good bike. So if your thoughts are on a vintage or veteran style motorbike and you don't want to get the hassles that go with it, I'm pretty sure if you buy one of these, you'll be able to get the same sort of feeling or the thrill of coming out and looking at. And you know, you can't tell me for a brand new bike, virtually this one here looks like it's brand new. It looks, to me, it looks like it's 50 or 60 year old. And you know, that's the thrill of it. So some people might like the idea of 350 compared to 500, but you know, 350 I find is adequate. You know, like you can go along. Here in Australia where I am, you can only do in my area 100 maximum, 60 mile an hour top speed. It'll run along that all right. And there are people in this area that have been out on these and taken them for 200 or 300 kilometre rides quite regularly, and they handle it really well. So overall, I think, you know, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about buying one of these, by all means get out, grab one, buy it, and I think you'll be 100% satisfied on the bike, which looks like it's 60-year-old, but more importantly, it goes better than the bike 60-year-old. Because like I said, I had one of those veteran type bikes earlier, or vintage you could say, and I wasn't all that wrapped in the experience because I had a lot of issues with carbies, clutch, a few other things like that. And that was 10 years ago when I bought that bike, and then I paid $10,000 to buy the bike. It was a beautifully restored bike, but after that it went downhill. So my advice is, if you're looking for something that looks old, go for one of these, and I think you'll be 100% satisfied, and you'll be very happy how things go with these bikes, and you'll get a lot of fun, pleasure, and I think it'll be the best bike you've bought for a long time. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Take a look. Catch you later.